I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. Such a pleasure to meet you. So can you just kick off with a brief intro to your film, Ali and Ava, and tell us a bit about the characters?
Ali and Ava is a love story. It's set in Bradford in the north of England. Ali's a DJ and was a DJ, now a landlord, and is really into music. Ava's a classroom assistant, and they meet through the little girl who Ava is teaching to read. And she's also really into music, but their musical taste differs. And really, both of them are at a point in their lives where they're quite stuck, and they're a real catalyst for change in each other's lives.
And it's not your conventional kind of love story or drama that you might see. So what was the inspiration for the film, the characters, and why were you compelled to put the story on the big screen?
Well, they're actually inspired by real people. So Rio was the inspiration for Ava, and she's somebody that I met through making my previous films. And Moe Hassan was the inspiration for Ali. And it's a kind of process that I've used before, where I've based fictional characters on real people. So those two people didn't actually fall in love with each other. So it's kind of like biofiction is what I've ended up thinking of it as opposed to autofiction, because they're sort of biographical in that some of the facts of those characters are the same as the facts of the people who inspired them, but they didn't fall in love with each other.
And how did you know that Claire and Naheed were the right people for the cast, and to play your character?
Well, actually, Adil I met in Toronto in 2016, and when it was just a seed of an idea. And so I kind of showed him a very one-page outline of what I thought the story might be, and then we workshopped. So I went and spoke to Moe, who Ali's inspired by, and then I think the first thing we did actually was I spoke to Adil in character as Ali, and then we did a whole bunch of workshops and then I'd go back to the script, and then I'd spend time in Bradford with the real people, and then go back to working with Adil, and also did a whole other set of workshops in Bradford So it's kind of, I don't know if that answers the question, but yeah.
Why do you think it's important to kind of tell these stories that are perhaps more everyday, got like working class representation, it's also cross-cultural, things that of course are all what make up Britain, but perhaps we don't see on the big screen all the time?
Yeah, I really wanted to celebrate the lives that don't maybe get enough big screen time. It was really important to me that you saw these so-called ordinary lives writ large and understood something about the kind of internal complexities of people's lives.
Particularly for like roles for older women, let's say. There's a lot of jokes in there. It's like Tom Cruise's partners just stay in their 20s while he gets older. So, is that something that we're missing from our screens and hopefully we're going to see more of?
I think so, yeah. It was really important to me that it was a story about a middle-aged woman falling in love, that middle-aged people falling in love. Like, everybody falls in love, doesn't matter how old you are, what age you are, people fall in love.
And what do you hope that ultimately people will take away from the film, and what it has to say about love and its exploration of it?
I hope people come away from it with a sense of possibility, and I guess there was a point around 2016 where I felt very angry, as a lot of people did, I think, about very divisive politicians kind of exploiting people's differences. And actually what I was witnessing on the ground was people being good to each other, and I really, that felt really important to celebrate, really.
How does it feel to be here tonight on the LFF red carpet? People about to see your film on the big screen after, the pandemic we've had.
Fantastic. Yeah, really, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it feels like it's been a long wait, and it's like drinking water or something after you've been really thirsty for a long time. So yeah, it's wonderful.
And you've tackled slightly different things in each of your films so far. Do you know what you're going to do next?
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I don't know. Yeah, I'm in the middle of working on something at the moment. But yes, I'm not sure.
And what do you think is special about British indie film, and how do you see the health of the industry specifically in our kind of corner of the world?
I think we've got a brilliant film culture in this country. I think we've got a really fantastic film history, and I'm really proud of it. And I hope that other people are too. So yeah.
And more space for female voices, I think, in filmmaking, and complex female characters front and centre. That seems to be changing.
Yeah, it feels like it's starting to change. I think it's really about time, and I think there's a kind of concerted effort to make that happen, which is great. Yes, it was. I guess like a lot of films, we were held up by the pandemic in terms of its release, and I wasn't able to attend Cannes or Toronto because of quarantine rules, and because I was working, so I couldn't quarantine. So it's actually my first time out with the film. So. Yeah, it feels wonderful, really brilliant. I hope they'll leave with a sense of possibility and a sense of our common humanity. I made my first film, Ali Ava, was about a playwright called Andrea Dunbar, and really that's what took me to this very particular place in Bradford. And through meeting her, I met a whole load of people who I found very inspiring. And one woman in particular called Rio inspired the character of Ava, and someone called Moe inspired the character of Ali. It's got a lot of music in it because both Ali and Ava love music. It shows, I think, Bradford maybe in a way that you don't usually see it, in that it's very beautiful. And they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun to be around. So yeah, I think it's joyful.